Okay, everybody, it took me a minute, but I'm here. Finished my second look at, well, really my first look. I didn't get to see a lot of it uh, as it was going on of the Alabama versus Mississippi State game. But I'm here to give you my post game thoughts on it. Uh, yeah, this was an interesting game. Alabama sought to get Jalen Hurts some work passing the ball down the field, trying to get him ready for the Iron Bowl and for the playoffs for the SEC championship. Uh, because we're going to need his downfield throwing ability when that time comes. We can't only rely on his running and the running backs running as they're a bit dinged up, and he can't be the only option. Otherwise, we'll wear him down. And they sought to get the downfield passing working, and they specifically followed the ball to our Darius Stewart quite a bit. And I see why. He's a talented guy, of course, and we know that since last year and the year before. And it was very successful, except for the interception. So I'll start there. So Hurts' interception was horrible. The interception he threw down the field, uh, he could have underthrown it, but it looks like they both. It just seems that Hurts and Stewart were out of sync, and they were not on the same page because I don't know what he looked like. He was trying to throw a deep in route, and Ardair Stewart looks like he was trying to run a deep post or a deep corner, whatever it was. I hope they fix that because they don't need to do that again. But because Jalen looked confident throwing as if he was expecting Ardarius to run somewhere else, and Ardarius looked at Jalen like, where are you going with the ball? So that was horrible. So in general, Alabama started off a bit sloppy in this game. Not only that interception, but they had the long kickoff return that helped set Mississippi State up with good field position. Uh, and they ended up missing the field goal from that. They fumbled, but that was in the third quarter. Jalen ran. He didn't really see the guy, but still, it was a bit sloppy. Uh, they gave up a long pass. It was like 41 yards. It looks like it was a breakdown. Like they were trying to play cover two, a little bit of zone, and they didn't close in on the receiver fast enough. The guy caught the ball, cut it inside Hootie Jones, and ran for a minute. But they caught him. But it started off a little bit sloppy, and but they fixed it and they got going. And when they got going really really well. So I'll break down some of the plays I saw and some of the good things I saw from Jalen Hurts and some of the things they were trying to do. Well, one small little thing is I forgot where it was specifically in the game, but I think it was in the first quarter. Deshaun Hand showed off his speed. I did not know he was that fast. He chased down Nick Fitzgerald. Nick Fitzgerald tried to scramble he was scrambling to the left side of the field, and Deshaun Hand came out of nowhere and ran him down. And Fitzgerald went out of bounds, but it was good that he did because Deshaun Hand was closing in on him fast. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was an impressive play. Overall, Anthony Averett balled out today. So ever since that first game against USC tried to test him out because he was a new corner, and he actually responded really well. He got beat by Darius Rogers on that first play, but other than that, he played really, really well. And he hasn't really had a lot of people try to test him out this year, which I was surprised by. I was surprised more teams haven't tried to throw the ball on him. In recent weeks, they have, but it hasn't been successful. Anthony Averett, honestly, probably is outplaying Marlon Humphrey on these deep balls. He consistently turns around and looks at the ball, and that's what you need to do. And I think it's because he's confident in his speed. He runs like a 4.240, something like that, 4.24. Extremely fast kid. And so he's not worried about getting beaten. So he turns around and he's looking for the ball. He's knocking it down, fighting the receivers. Doing a great job there. Uh, and it's impressive to see. They tried to go after him maybe 5 or 6 times in this game, and each time he won. He got one pass interference call, and I'll talk about that, but I didn't really feel like he deserved a pass interference, but it was a great play. So speaking of one of those plays, around the 5:30 mark of the second quarter, Anthony Aver played great man-to-man coverage, and he just stuck his hand in there, both hands actually, knocked the ball down. And that's just a great play. Remember, go look at it, the 5:30 mark of the second quarter. Also, I noticed overall that Mississippi State, they had a little bit of success running the ball. They had about 93 yards rushing the whole game and on very low yards per carry average. But they had a little bit of success. Mainly it's because of their type of offense. They weren't like gashing Alabama, but every once in a while they'll squeak out some runs. And it's also because of how they block and how they get their running backs to go after them. So they spread Alabama out with a few receivers. And then they hand the ball off to the running back where he can crash inside. So their offensive line likes to crash down inside and wash down some blocks and try to let their running back squeeze through the holes and like squeak out a few yards. And they did that quite a bit actually. I kind of about 2 or 3 times their running back kind of slipped through a little small hole and got a few effort yards, pulled off 4 or 5 3-yard runs every now and again, and that kind of kept some of their drives going a little bit because they had a little bit of success, but it wasn't much. But I bring it up to say that those are the type of plays that Auburn will try to use against Alabama. I think their running style is similar to Auburn's. Auburn's is probably more successful, well, when they can throw the ball, which they may not be able to with Sean White injured, but we'll get there when we get there. Just to give you an example of one of those plays where Mississippi State um, was able to squeak out some yards, I'll point it to you. You can go look at it in the game clock. Uh, Looking at my notes here. Oh, about the 8 minute and 30-second mark of the third quarter, Mississippi's running back did a good job of slipping through the hole and got a few effort yards. So go look at that. Around 8 minute mark of the third quarter, 8 minutes 30 seconds. And did it a few other times. I'll see if I have another one in here somewhere, but I just saw it quite a few times. Um, Also, Jalen Hurts just casually pulled off a 60-yard run. You know, quarterbacks don't do that, but Jalen Hurts does, obviously. It was at the 4 minute mark of the second quarter. He had a perfect convoy on his blocking, so it wasn't all him, but it was crazy. A 60-yard run from a quarterback against the SEC competition. Cam Robinson and O.J. Howard initial blocks were amazing. They opened up the hole for him, and then Damian Harris finished off the DB, and Jalen Hurts had this open field to run to. So if they keep blocking like that, you can't stop this team. There's no way you can stop them if they're going to block you like that and give the quarterback free room to run 60 yards down the field. Also, another play for Anthony Averett at the 2 minute mark and 30 seconds of the second quarter, 2 minutes 30 seconds. He played great coverage again, didn't get beat. He turned around and knocked the ball down. I think this is actually the one where he did the two hands on the 5 minute 30-second mark. I think he stuck his hand inside the receiver's hand and knocked the ball out. On this one, at the 2 minute 30-second mark of the second quarter, he put both hands up and knocked the ball down while turning around. And I just wish Marlon Humphrey did that more often because he's actually right there, usually in the same spot where the receiver is, and all they have to do is knock the ball down, and they're doing a great job of that. So that's really good to see our cornerbacks playing amazing, especially Anthony Averett. Pretty sure teams are going to stop trying to test him. Maybe. We'll see. I'm confident when the ball is thrown in his direction because I know he's going to turn around. Mississippi State, number 49, read the screen so well at the 1 minute 45-second mark of the second quarter. So Alabama had threw a little small screen to the running back, and I thought we were going to get somewhere, but all of a sudden the Mississippi State defensive lineman, number 49, instead of crashing down, turned around and went right for the running back, and that just showed good football awareness, and I was just impressed by that play. That's all I have to say on that. Joshua Jacobs. This kid is special, and I love watching him play. The pass where he got us into the red zone, where he put an amazing cutback juke on two players in a row. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I think it was in the first quarter or early second quarter. Two cutback jukes on these two Mississippi State defenders, and they just were left in their shoes, and he ran all the way down to the 10, 5-yard mark. And this guy is just unbelievably shifty. Not only is he shifty, but he breaks tackles and carries guys. He amazing running back. I can't wait to see how he gets better and how he continues to produce for Alabama in the future. And he really allowed us to not have to play Bo Scarborough on Saturday, which is good because he's dealing with the knee injury. And Damian Harris can continue resting up as well because he's dealing with the ankle injury. Here it is, going to the Jalen Hurts throwing. So about the 59-second mark, within 1 minute of the second quarter, Jalen Hurts had all day to throw on this pass. On this pass, Jalen Hurts had all day. He looked like the Tony Romo pass that he had against the New York Giants back in 2014 where they counted and he had 9 seconds. Jalen Hurts didn't have 9 seconds here, but I felt like he could have held onto the ball for as long as he wanted to because there was nobody around him. It was a perfect pocket. And he threw a beautiful pass that O.J. Howard just couldn't catch up to. O.J. Howard had his hands out, the ball went right here. It's a beautiful pass to O.J. Howard, and he just couldn't catch up to it. But it was an amazing throw, and the offensive line deserves a lot of credit for him being able to make that throw. And O.J. Howard beat his guy by a whole bunch of yards. talented guy, that wide open down the field. Also, I noticed that Jalen Hurts made some good check downs to Miller Forrestall. He hit Miller Forrestall on check down about 3 or 4 times in the game, and that is what you need to see. You can tell that he's been working through his progressions, knowing when not to just zone in on a deep pass, not to just zone in on a short pass, but to look for where his reach is, and he hit Miller Forrestall. So apparently that the working out that he did with Saban and Kiffin is working out. They're doing a great job with that. And I think the next pass, 0 minute 45 second mark, Hurts threw a very, very, very strong pass to Ardarius Stewart. It was amazing. It it was amazing. This throw, it was just a first down throw, but the defender was right there, and the ball zipped right past his arm, and the ball hit Ardarius Stewart, and then the other defender came in and hit him at just about the time the ball got there. So that throw had to be strong and it had to be accurate. So that is a very good sign from this young quarterback learning how to throw the ball with accuracy and with the right amount of velocity. So look forward to him to continue to progress. Pass protection was amazing once again at the the 0 minutes, 26-second mark of the second quarter, like right before halftime. Hurts looked forever. He looked over the field, looked right to the left, and then he just took off because he didn't have an open. But he had forever to throw, which is amazing. And this offensive line, I can't say much more. They're doing a great job of pass blocking. That's just the way it is. So now getting into the third quarter a bit, about the 14-10 mark, the Mississippi State receiver, number 6, Gray, this was the first time I've seen Averett beat in this game. Well, he got beat again, but it wasn't that bad. He beat Averett pretty good. It was man-to-man coverage, I believe, and he put a move on Averett that made Averett turn around and slip, and he was behind the guy on the slant route for about 3 yards, and Nick Fitzgerald hit him for the slant. And so Averett got beat right there. And then on the next play, actually, Anthony Averett played good coverage, but he lost a one-on-one battle. It was like really, he was like good right next to him, and the receiver just caught the ball with his hands and beat Averett to the ball, which is understandable. That's a play that Nick Saban and Alabama secondary will take because the quarterback has to make a perfect, accurate pass, and there's nothing you can do from a perfect, accurate pass. So, yeah, one play he got beat badly. Next play he played great coverage, but couldn't do anything about it. Also, not too long after that, when Alabama got back on defense, well, they're still on defense, actually, Ryan Anderson beat the right tackle one-on-one really easily, too. He started off with a little strength, pushed the guy back, and when he saw the quarterback was passing, he just disengaged very easily and went right for the quarterback and kind of smacked him a little bit. And I was like, yeah, that's Ryan Anderson for you. And that was at the 12:40 mark of the third quarter. Go watch that play. It doesn't look that impressive because he wasn't like full out power rushing and he wasn't full out speed rushing, but his ability to just get into the guy's pass and disengage and get to the quarterback, that's just impressive to see, and that's why he's been so successful this year, why he's third on the team in sacks. About the 12-minute mark of the third quarter, Hootie Jones and Marlon Humphrey collaborated on some really good deep coverage. So Marlon Humphrey was playing man-to-man with the receiver and was stuck to him like glue, and Hootie Jones came over with the safety help, which is really, really good. That's encouraging to see that Eddie Jackson's out, but Hootie Jones has been able to step in and play good. Came over, knocked the ball out as they were entering into the end zone. So that was a great, great, great combination coverage right there. Marlon Humphrey covered the receiver. Hootie Jones played the ball. That's what we want to see every time. Also, Hurts had all day to throw. Again, this pass protection, I'm telling you, at the 11-minute mark and 40 seconds of the third quarter, Hurts had all day to throw, and he threw the ball to Ardarius Stewart. Ardarius Stewart dropped it. He probably should have caught it. But the issue was that Hurts did throw it a little bit behind him, and Ardarius Stewart had to turn around for it. And you don't want to make your receiver turn around for the ball because it makes it harder for him to catch. Should have caught it, but it still was hard to catch. Hurts had all day to throw, and so that was another positive sign. He just has to make sure that he's throwing the ball accurately. Also, a good sign from Jalen Hurts at the 10-minute, 20-second mark of the third quarter. He ran from pressure, but he kept his eyes down the field. I thought the play was, the pressure came from the left side, so he turned around and spun out of it, kind of like a Tony Romo-like spin, and ran to the left side of the field. And instead of taking off and just running, he looked down the field to see if he can get a pass off, and he didn't have anybody open, so he just ran for the line of scrimmage and got the ball back there without losing yards. And that's a really positive sign from a quarterback who's trying to take the ball down the field and not just run with the ball all the time. I noticed in this game, because they were trying to develop his downfield passing, Kiffin did not call as many of those sideline to sideline wide receiver screen, running back screens in those plays, which is really good because that's not how you develop the quarterback. He wanted to get his playmakers the ball, but there's a point in time where you have to throw the ball down the field, and then they didn't try too many of those. They threw a few of them, which is good because you want to keep the defense off balance. Uh, but it definitely went for the downfield passes, which is what we expected to see, and they had success on it. Hurts had 347 passing yards, so that was good. At the 9 minute mark of the third quarter, Tim Williams had a really, really, really nice spin move on the left tackle. He did it in a way where it wasn't like I'm going to spin and then have a little separation. He got really close to the left tackle, and then he put a spin move on him to where the guy couldn't do anything about it. Otherwise, he would get a penalty if he grabbed him. Like they spin right inside of his chest and went for the quarterback and caused the play to be disrupted. That was just a great, great pass rushing move by Tim Williams. If you didn't see that or you didn't notice it, go look at it at the 9 minute mark of the third quarter. I already said this. Mississippi State running backs slipped through the holes for the effort yards there. So the way their offensive line kind of works, and I think Auburn does this too, they kind of crash down on the defensive line and they let their running backs kind of slip through those holes. And basically, your linebackers, your front seven has to be prepared for that and not get any type of pushback because their running backs will slip through. And so that's a good practice for the way Auburn runs the ball too, especially because they're going to spread out too and then try to run. That touchdown that Jalen Hurts threw to Ardarius Stewart, his third touchdown catch, I believe. No, that was his second one. At the 6:15 mark of the third quarter, it was a missile. Jalen Hurts threw the ball in between three defenders. It was accurate and full of velocity, and it had to be. Otherwise, it would have been an interception or incomplete pass. And that's a good sign. That's what we want to see from Jalen Hurts more often. Ardarius Stewart's third touchdown, the one after this, at 4:45 mark of the third quarter, it was just too easy. There was nobody there. Nobody 5 yards in front, 5 yards behind, 5 yards to the side, wide open, and Jalen Hurts hit him. And they got the touchdown. So no complaints there. It was just too easy. Kiffin really saw the fall of the ball from Stewart, like I said earlier, and it worked out. 3 touchdowns. Oh, here it is. Here I said I was going to find you another example of the Mississippi State running back slipping through and getting some effort yards. Another example of that slippery effort was at the 4:40 mark of the third quarter. The running back just kind of got the ball and slipped through on the right side of the line of scrimmage and got about 9 yards. Those plays, we got to crack down on that. This is like part of that sloppiness I was talking about. The defensive line seemed like they got so used to dominating Mississippi State that they kind of let up a little bit. But this shows you that Mississippi State's running game is not a fluke. The way they played against Texas A&M, probably that was their true game. They like to run the ball, and they had success because Texas A&M can't stop the run. And so I see why they're so good at running the ball, and I see how this type of offense can create some mismatches running the ball. And so Alabama just has to be prepared for that for Auburn. So yeah, that was at the 4:40 mark of the third quarter. Go check it out, and let me know what you think about it. Actually, how do you think Alabama can better defend those type of running plays? This play at the 3:30 mark of the third quarter, Mississippi State's whole offensive line was beaten. I saw DeRon Payne in there. I saw Anderson or whoever was rushing from the ends. I couldn't even see the numbers because they had got to Nick Fitzgerald so fast. And Fitzgerald just threw the ball up because it was one-on-one coverage to Anthony Avery and I think it was Gray. And they called pass interference, but both the guys kind of had their hands. And I understand Avery had his hands on the receiver, but he wasn't like, forcing him out or anything like that, or really impeding him from making progress. Could be, but I say it was good coverage, so I was happy with it. Also, this is a crazy stat. So at this point in the game, right before the fourth quarter, or right when it started, Mississippi State had run 24 plays in Alabama territory. They only had one field goal. They missed the field goal. They threw an interception, and then they turned the ball over twice on fourth down. So Alabama inside the red zone played amazing. And that was not just red zone, actually, just on our side of the 50. Whenever they got to our side of the 50, we played great. And the funny thing was that Mississippi State had more success than LSU. LSU only ran one play inside the Alabama 30 the whole game. So that's crazy. This Alabama defense is good. And just finishing up, like 3 more things. The backups on defense came in at about the 10:30 mark of the fourth quarter. Cooper Bateman came in about the last uh, 2.5 minutes of third quarter, and he didn't look bad throwing passes out there when they started letting him throw the ball. And I was like, wow, okay, Cooper, I like that. Just in case something happens when I need you to play in the game, I see it. And a lot of players played. Number 8 on the defense, I don't remember his name right now. I saw Raekwon Davis, who got sacked toward the end of the game. He bull rushed his guy right into Nick Fitzgerald's face. If you didn't see that play, it's like in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. Raekwon Davis just demolished his guy in the line of scrimmage and got a sack. Saw Levi Wallace play, Derek Gore play, Shaheem Carter got in. It was just good to see a lot of young guys getting there. Joshua Frazier, of course, who plays all the time. Anthony Jennings. Uh, so yeah, it was a good day for Alabama. They completed what they wanted to do, which was get Jalen Hurts some experience passing the ball down the field. They played good defense all day. They were a little bit sloppy on special teams too. But Adam Griffith did make 3 field goals. And ultimately, they got to play young guys and build depth for the future, and they're getting prepared for Auburn. I say that is a success. They didn't have to play Bo Scarborough, no major injuries. Alabama looks to be all right. See you next time for the next videos. Thanks for paying attention. Let me know if you noticed some things I didn't know, or if you just want me to go check out some things, let me know. I enjoy doing these videos, so see you next time.